Welcome to Nerds Geeks in the Kitchen Sink. It's the podcast that's like hanging out at the video store. I'm one of your hosts, DK.
Hi.
That's Chris, the other host. Improve if you feel like it. Uh, Hi, everyone. Uh, wow, what an exciting, high energy episode we have for you today.
Oh, just wait.
Well,
I'm conserving energy.
we will be discussing the Acolyte, the
The
new Star
first
Wars.
three.
Yes, 3 episodes, the first three. But first, Chris, how you been? What have you been up to?
Oh, well, not much. This is what we're going to discuss is about the only thing that I've been brewing over for the last week and a half. So, yeah. Um Stuff around the house. That's I'm really just gonna be boring person this last week. I actually are going to Mizzou this weekend, so actually a little bit later today.
Yes, very nice.
So
That's fun.
mhm.
And it's for a cool thing, right? So that's
Yep.
awesome.
Yep.
Have you watched anything at all other than the Star Wars?
Uh I've had to get some other good movies in. So I've rewatched the Lord of the Rings trilogy, extended edition. I've rewatched the original 4, 5, and 6 of Star Wars. And I actually broke out the VHS player to play them on.
Oh, nice.
So I got the non Java Star
Right.
Wars
That's cool.
in the
It's
original
always fun.
format. So
It's always fun. Hopefully they were
times that too.
rewound before you put them in there.
Well, they're my tapes, so I don't give a shit.
Oh, all right, all right.
But yes, I am always kind and rewind.
Yes. Yes. Anything else? Any games or anything? Or is that it?
No, not really. I just it's kind of been a hectic week. The girls are getting ready to leave for Ireland next month, less than a month. So we've been running around and doing stuff like that. And past that, that's about it.
All right. Well, for me, it's been a crazy couple weeks at work.
Well, that
Uh,
would yeah.
but I don't want to go into that here. I want to talk about I have watched a few movies,
Okay.
um, starting with. I'm just going to come out and say it. This is going to be a movie dump.
Okay.
This is a dump. We're about to take a dump,
Go for it.
a big time movie dump. So I watched The Zero Boys. Have you seen this?
I have not seen this.
All right. Well, it's from 1986, and a group of friends travel to the wilderness area to play a survival game. Soon they unexpectedly find themselves in a real life survival situation. Right.
Okay.
It has Kelly Maroney, who we love. You know that she's great.
Right.
It has
Yes.
Joe Estevez, who we
Right.
fear. uh, Listen, it's from the same director as The Wind, the Wings Hauser
Yes.
movie that I like,
Right.
but it's before that. So anyway,
Okay.
long story short, it is an 80s movie that has a lot of very questionable 80s things, like maybe more than normal. Um, and I like the look
You
of
know
it.
what? It was part of the period. Screw the other bullshit. Enjoy it for what it is. There's no questionable. It's an 80s movie, and screw the
I'm
rest of
not
it.
going to enjoy a man dressed as Hitler for fun. You know, it didn't. It didn't do that.
I mean, did you
Uh,
not see Hot Shots?
well, that was different. That was different. You have to see the Zero Boys, and we can talk about it. But anyway, there was some stuff that didn't age well, but I didn't get hung up on it. But the movie itself, I don't know. I'm just going to say that I didn't love it, but it was out there. It was an interesting 80s movie I hadn't seen, and
Yeah.
it was fine. Like, I'm not mad. I watched it, but the ending is insane, and it's whatever. So anyway, the Zero Boys,
Okay.
not a major recommendation for me. The next thing I did watch was actually in prep for a 5-day rentals. episode that was coming out.
Hmm.
It's a genre that I love, the rock and roll metal movies. So I watched
Okay.
Shock 'em Dead. I promise this is not a 5 Day Rentals recap show that we're running here, but
But I have seen that one, so yeah.
it was my first watch.
Okay.
1991 feels
I
like,
was gonna say I saw that like right out of high school, so
yeah, 91, but it feels like 84, 85.
it
Uh,
does.
it's way past the time. The makers of this were clueless, it seems like. Anyway, if you want to hear about it, listen to 5 Day Rentals, really. But I had a great time. Um, Quality wise, I gave it like a 2, but like
Uh-huh.
fun factor, it's like a 4 out of 5. So I met in the
Yeah.
middle and gave it a 3.
Okay.
Uh, Ridiculous movie.
Yeah.
Ridiculous movie. I've been thinking about it nonstop since I watched it. So I want to thank 5 Day Rentals for bringing that one to my film
Potential.
life. Yes, exactly. Now, this next one is one of the ones that I really want to talk about.
Okay.
I don't know. I somehow had not seen from 1994 the John Waters movie Serial Mom.
You've never
I
seen
have
that
never
one?
seen it. No, I had
Oh
never
my
seen it.
god.
Chris, it was amazing.
Yes, it
It
was.
was hysterical.
Oh, I know.
I was crying. It was funny as hell. Uh, Amazing. So much fun. I had a blast watching that movie, and I'm just sitting there going like, why have I waited this long to see this movie? So I would absolutely
I mean, it's
recommend.
definitely one that like, goes under the radar for a lot of people
Sure.
because I mean, right in that 90, late 80s, early 90s John Waters films, it's not the first one on the top of everybody's head.
Right. Well,
So,
yeah, like I'd seen Crybaby before.
right.
That was on TV all the time when I was a kid for whatever reason,
Yeah.
so I'm really familiar with that. A couple
Oh
others,
yeah.
but for me, like Serial Mom, for whatever reason, I just had never seen it, and holy crap, I really liked it. It was a lot of fun.
It
The
is.
mom
It
making,
definitely is.
she's not only a serial killer, but she's making obscene phone calls, and it was very funny. So recommended. Check out Serial Mom from 1994.
Yeah.
Uh, two more on
Okay.
this dump.
I actually have one after you get done with these two,
All right.
but I totally forgot with preoccupied with, you know, emotions.
Okay. I watched one I don't think I'd ever even heard of, called The
Okay.
Gathering, and it's not about juggalos. It's from
Or
2002.
immortals.
Well,
Okay.
it's from 2002,
Right.
and it's got Christina Ricci,
Okay.
um, just about the biggest name in there, I would think.
Okay.
A couple faces you recognize, but like nobody that I was like, oh yeah. Uh, she gets hit by a car at the beginning. It takes place in it's England.
Okay.
She's walking on foot. She gets hit by a car. She has amnesia. She doesn't remember who she is or what she's doing.
Okay.
And it's so improbable and doesn't make any sense. Like this family is like, oh, we hit you with our car. Come live with us. You stranger who don't know who you are.
Right.
Yeah, it's wild. And
Well,
it
I
just
mean,
gets
if she
weirder
doesn't
from
know
that.
who she is, then how the hell would she know not to, you
Be a
know?
psycho? I don't know.
Well, yeah,
But
that too.
who knows? But I mean, it could be anything. Uh, so anyway, uh, and they put her immediately in charge of their children. And
Okay.
the first morning, she's like, "I'll take the kids to school," and they're like, "Okay." It's crazy.
What was the werewolf movie she was in? Was that movie about the same time?
That was a little later.
Okay.
That's called no, not the Howling.
No.
What's it called?
Because I was saying there was a span that, kind of after, everything, after the Casper and stuff like that movie
Sure.
she did, she kind of went into these
What the hell is that movie called?
weird.
I've seen it like 3 times.
I know, I can't remember that.
Well, here I'm on Letterboxd. Cursed.
Okay.
Cursed.
That was it.
Apparently, there's like some crazy behind the scenes stuff, and that movie was like fully reshot or something like that. And there's a lot of
Hmm.
changes that were made, and it was like taken away. Isn't it Wes Craven?
I thought that.
Yeah, it's one of Wes
Yeah.
Craven's last movies. Apparently, it's
Okay, 5 Day Rentals.
yeah. That movie
Need
has
to get that one on.
that movie has quite a cast list.
Yeah, it did.
Anyway, not amazing.
I was just thinking that the movie you were talking about with her was around that same time that she really
A
was
little
getting into
earlier,
that
just a few years earlier.
experimental kind of horror
Right. And
stuff.
I guess The Gathering is horror,
Okay,
but it's more like a weird
suspense kind of.
even to me it feels like it could be like a part of the Tom Hanks, what is it called? Angels and Demons?
Oh,
The something something?
yeah, because
The
like
Da Vinci
what was
Code?
it? Da Vinci. Yeah.
It feels like it could be part of that almost.
Okay.
Um I didn't really like it, to be honest. It was all right.
Okay.
It was, but I like that it was from 2002. I had never even heard of it. I like Christina Ricci.
Right.
It was a nice night of television, but I didn't. It's not going on any lists for me.
Gotcha.
So the last one I want to talk about, and I know I'm kind of getting into something here where there's a lot more to it, but that I don't have yet. I haven't done it yet.
Gotcha.
But it's the Dick Moss movie, Down,
Okay.
from 2001. It's about like a possessed elevator in a building in New York City. There's all kinds of crazy stuff about it.
Hmm.
First of all, came out in 2001. It's about a New York skyscraper.
Right.
There are all kinds of references. Basically, the movie was going to be a theatrically released movie, but they just sent it straight to not to streaming, but to video because, well, there's a lot of references to things that are very 9/11, down to some extremely specific references. It's like,
That's kind of
whoa,
scary. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, it is.
CIA op.
Yeah, I don't know, but
Yeah.
anyway, boy, this was an insane movie. It had James Marshall, who you might know from like Twin Peaks.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Naomi Watts is in it.
Oh, right. Oh,
Let me just. This is my problem with the movie.
okay.
Well, first of all, I'm really conflicted because it's an insane, wild movie, and I love an insane, wild movie that's
Well,
like fun
yeah.
to watch with a group, right? Um, I have like a little movie club at work. I think I've talked about, and we watched this together, and
Right.
it was we were howling. I mean, it's wild. Um, it also has, listen to this cast list: James Marshall, Naomi Watts, Michael Ironside, Dan Hedaya, Ron Perlman.
Good lord.
There's some great and some other guys too. Who's the dude? Is it this guy? Not that guy. Who's the guy who's this must be him. Edward Herman.
And that name
Herman.
sounds super
You know him
familiar.
from, he's in everything. The Wolf of Wall Street, Lost Boys. He's the guy that she dates in Lost Boys. The town
Oh, okay. Okay. Okay.
so
Okay.
much stuff. He seems like a nice regular dude, right? But
Yeah.
then he has like an evil turn. That's always what it
Right.
is, it seems like.
Well, of course.
Um he's in The Aviator. Annie. Anyway, some amazing big name actors
Right.
who are hardly in the film. You have like a tense scene between Ron Perlman and Dan Hedaya, and it's like could be amazing, and it's like, nope, you're gonna get 2 minutes of this and it's over. It's wild, right? Anyway, it's a movie about a possessed elevator, and it is Dick Moss, who is. Have you seen Amsterdam?
Yeah.
Okay, same dude. So the kind of sensibilities we're dealing with.
Right.
This movie goes after everyone: pregnant women, the disabled, children. I mean, he is going all in, and some of it is maybe hard to watch. Animals, it's rough sometimes, but in a very cartoon like. I think you could take this movie one step further, and maybe it could become something like
A snuff film.
no, something almost along the lines of like a RoboCop or like a
Oh, okay. Okay.
Starship Troopers type
Gotcha.
situation, where it's a satire, but it's not quite that. Like it, I don't really. To me, honestly, it feels like they saw Final Destination a year or two before that and said, "Oh, we got Final Destination. We got
Right.
Final Destination at home. It's this."
Yeah. In
Um,
an elevator.
but now here's the thing that people who know are screaming at me about.
Right.
I don't know if it's a remake or a reimagining or what, but Dick Moss, legendary Netherlands filmmaker, has a movie from 1983 called The Lift about a
Okay.
killer elevator. I haven't seen The Lift yet. It's on
So
my
was
list.
so was The Lift more of a foreign film and this one more of a
I believe it is not in English. I could
okay.
be wrong about that, but I believe it is not in
Well,
English.
it's not like they haven't done that a ton of times,
Yeah. Oh, for
you know.
sure.
I mean, just
So,
look at
uh,
half the Japanese horror that we've gotten.
well, sure, yeah. But anyway, he's got two elevator horror movies.
Hey,
So I'd love to hear the behind the scenes, and I'm sure it's like well known, and I just haven't heard
right,
yet.
right.
I'm a fan of Dick Moss. I love Amsterdam. Uh, so yeah. Anyway, uh, what a movie!
Yeah.
I think you should watch it. It's an insane movie. It's on Shutter if you're interested.
Mhm.
I had fun. I was laughing. I was screaming at the TV. I, it's nuts. So I recommend. It's called Down, but I think it's also like alternately called The Shaft.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure. Um. Anyway, uh, a perplexing, incredibly strange movie
Well,
that I did enjoy.
with you talking about those, I'm glad you kind of ended with that one because the one that I've got, I had as a recommendation without knowing anything really about this. It is a Spanish horror film called The Coffee Table.
Oh boy, is it about a killer coffee table?
I cannot tell you really anything about this movie
Okay.
and not give anything away.
Can you compare it to something without spoiling anything?
Ooh, um, it's this will traumatize you. I'm just this movie is so I mean some of the scenes were almost When Evil Lurks esque.
Okay. Is this a new movie?
This is a newer movie.
You said
It's
it's called
on
The Coffee Table?
The Coffee Table. It's on Amazon for like $3.99 right now.
The Coffee Table. Okay.
I mean, do you want to watch the trailer for it?
Well, I'm reading the description.
And the
Uh,
description is not going to give you a ton.
a couple going through a difficult time in their relationship. Nevertheless, they have just become parents. To shape their new life, they decide to buy a new coffee table, a decision that will change their existence. Some people I like have watched it. Wow, I don't think I want to watch the trailer. Elric Kane is telling me my jaw is on the floor. Read nothing if you intend to watch this.
Right.
Um,
That's why I said
darkest thing I've seen in many years.
I want people to watch this movie, but I really cannot tell anything about this
And Phil Nobile
and not
Jr.
give
has
it
just
away.
shocked face emoji.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Okay. If you're having a great day and you definitely would like that to stop, watch this movie. Incredibly hard to watch. And I'm seeing some hereditary uh,
References.
references too. Okay. So I kind of get what we're dealing with.
Right.
Okay. All right. I don't want to watch the trailer. I'm going to watch it just,
It's probably a good idea not to watch the trailer. I just suggested if you were kind of apprehensive
I'm going to go
about
in raw,
with the
fully raw,
just raw dog it,
dry.
dry hump.
Let's move on.
But anywho, yeah, that's I had that recommended to me under the same premise of do not really I can't tell you what it is. I can't tell you really what happens, but there are some very traumatizing scenes in this.
All right. The coffee table. You said it's on Prime?
It's on Prime. I think
Okay.
it's only like $3.99. It's pretty cheap when
Okay.
being a Spanish film.
Okay.
And I mean, let's be honest. Hey, those European Spaniards have been doing pretty good in horror movies here lately.
They've always been.
Well,
There's
yeah,
some great Spanish
but I
horror.
meant some really, like I said, with When Evil Lurks and this movie, I would. Oh, I wouldn't necessarily put this on the movie level, but just as a horror film, yeah, I would put it
Put it pretty
comparable.
high.
Put it pretty high. So
All right. All right. Uh, Anyway, let's move on, I guess.
Okay.
Uh, sorry, I'm closing things out.
No, that's your fault. You're fine.
So real quick, just real quick.
Yeah.
You know, people who listen know that I'm a fan of online shooters and shooter games in general. And
First
I
person.
was it last time we talked? We talked about Sulaco, that game.
Yeah.
I
I
did
think it was
buy it.
last time or time before.
Yeah, I did buy it. I'm enjoying it. It's great. I haven't finished. I think it's in early access, so I think there will be more levels to come. I don't think it's like fully done. I haven't finished what's there yet, but I really enjoy it so far. It's amazing.
Right.
And I think it's that studio's first game ever. It's like
Oh
wild
wow.
that it is. It's really cool.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I'm still recommending Sulaco.
Okay.
Um, but season 3 of a game called The Finals is out. And I know I talked about The Finals months and months ago,
Right.
but I just want to point out that if people are looking for an online shooter, if you're tired of Call of Duty, if you're tired of Battlefield, those kinds of things, which I have been for a long time,
Yeah.
The Finals is such a refreshing, incredible alternative, and I think it deserves to be looked at. It's now entering season 3, and I've been playing since season 1. I've liked it this whole time, but I think season 3 solidifies for me that this is a game that can go all the way and
Okay.
is worth your time. Season 3 announced all kinds of new modes and
Nice.
new weapons, stuff like that, a new map, but tons of new mechanics. I just want to briefly cover it because I think it's
Yeah. Go
really,
for it.
really cool.
Go for it.
It's on, you know, the modern Xbox and PlayStations,
Right.
PC, of course. Um, Basically, it's like the premise is it's a game show, um, a virtual digital game show.
Okay.
So, you know, you're using realistic guns and stuff, but it's, you know, the game is, it's obviously like you're in a simulation. It's not real, right?
Right. Right.
But it looks, that's the thing though. The graphics are incredible. It looks really good. And there is a level of destructibility to the environment that I think makes this game truly spectacular.
Cool.
It's not just like, you know, back in some of the old Battlefield games, it's like certain buildings could blow up,
Right. Right. Right.
certain structures could blow up. This in this game, it's like everything.
Oh,
Everything.
nice.
You can completely destroy every building in the map if you want to. It's crazy. There's tons of good modes. One of my favorites is called Power Shift, and it's so simple. It's this floating platform,
Okay.
and it's 5v5, and you're trying to control the platform just by standing on it. All you got to do is
Okay.
stand on it. But there's buildings and tall things and lanes of sight that you can shoot
Right.
down and snipe or throw grenades and whatever. So you need to find a way to defend this thing.
Mhm.
And so your character, there's classes. So there's light, medium, heavy, and those will determine what your kit can be. But
Right.
it is not just like one or two things to choose from. It's like this smorgasbord of
Oh,
options.
nice.
So you can play a medium as a more offensive or defensive or a mix of both. You can
Right.
get a turret. You can get a healing beam. You can get, there's all kinds of stuff you can have, and you can build your class together along with every type of grenade you can think of.
Okay.
Interesting sort of sci-fi type weapons where like one where like you put the thing down and it just makes the surface like it opens the surface that you put it on.
Oh,
So like you
gotcha.
could get through a wall without blowing the wall up, and then you could
Right.
close it. So like if you're being pursued, throw it on the wall, walk through, turn it off. They can't get to you without blowing up the wall. If they're
Gotcha.
not the right class, they can't get you.
Right.
Stuff like that. But the destruction alone, it's incredible. There's some great modes, and the new mode I think is really going to grab Call of Duty style players. It's
Okay.
5v5 once again, and it is basically search and destroy, or like the basic Counter Strike, where it's like I said, teams of 5. You have this data chip that has to be installed in a kiosk. It's just like planting a bomb,
It's
and
almost
you know,
capture the flag, kind of.
sort of like that. But your job is either to attack and plant or defend, and that's it.
Okay.
But because there's all these elements of the destruction and the cool gadgets and stuff, there's way more happening than you might think.
Okay.
So like there's a kiosk that you have to plug the chip into. Well, we could go below the floor below and blow up the floor and drop it down. So if they've spent
Oh,
all this time
nice.
setting up defenses, screw that. I don't want to deal with that. We're going to go underneath and shoot a rocket and blow the floor up and take it down. Or we're going to sneak in. There's a light guy who can be invisible. There's all kinds of amazing little things you can do
So
with it.
you really have to have, like, you know, strategy
if you want to do
because
really
of the
well.
aspect of
And
It
I could,
almost sounds a little if you would combine COD and Overwatch.
in some ways, it does have that. So the characters are not, um, they're not like characters with stories and voices, and they're
Right,
not like the
right, right,
heroes or whatever, like Apex has or Overwatch would have.
right,
The operators, whatever you want to call them in Call of
right.
Duty, they are people that you design, so you can control the way they look, you can control all this stuff, and you can control what their kit is. But you're building a class that ends up being just like, you can build a character who is essentially like Mercy from Overwatch,
Right.
or whatever, or like there's a new item where you can grab people with a chain hook,
Oh,
and
nice.
so you can be Roadhog.
Right.
It's all those things that they're in there, right? Uh, the last thing I'll say is that uh oh, I had a real good thing to say. Oh, the weapons.
Mhm.
Not only do you have guns, but this game makes melee weapons extremely viable.
Oh,
And
nice.
not only viable, but like there's a ton of them to choose from, and they're really fun to play.
Okay.
So this new season has added dual katanas, and if you hold L2, you can actually block bullets. Not like completely, like you're still going to take damage, but
Yeah.
it's like reduced damage from bullets to make this melee option more viable against someone with a gun.
Okay.
Um, it's just stuff like that I love. There's throwing knives, but there's so much customization. It's like you can have the throwing knives, but you can have them customized to be like scissors, or there's all kinds of little stuff, right?
Right.
There's a hammer you can get that's a big sledge, but like you can get like a giant spoon, it's or a baseball bat.
Right.
It's cool. Um, it functions the same, it just looks different, and like who cares?
Okay.
It's in the
Yeah.
world of the game, it's a digital. So it's not like you're breaking the realism or whatever.
Right. Right.
So anyway, I'm gonna just talk all day about the finals. I really like it. If you like multiplayer shooters,
Okay.
try out the finals. It's a lot of fun.
And you said it's on season 3.
Season 3 right now.
Okay.
Boy, I love it. It's great.
Awesome.
So that's what I've been playing mostly. Although I did also recently get Sea of Thieves on PlayStation. I
Okay.
like Sea of Thieves. I already had it for PC, and I've been kind of getting back into it. And
Yeah.
it's a good chill out. You can go into the game and just float around and
I
see
mean,
what
you
you
can't
find.
go wrong with a pirate game. Let's be
And
honest.
it's a game where it's like you don't have to get in there and get all sweaty. Like I can just jump into the game and fish for 20 minutes
Right.
and sell the fish and like make some gold, or you can
What?
just sail around and dig for treasure.
Who doesn't want to plunder booty? I mean,
Exactly. Yeah, I'm all about booty. Everyone knows this.
Now we did get a trailer of probably one of your favorite
Yes.
first-person shooters.
Yes. Now, I haven't seen the trailer since it first
Launched.
aired. Yeah,
Yep.
at the Xbox event. I think we should check it out.
Yep.
Um, I'm gonna share a screen now, and this is for Doom: The Dark Ages, which has been rumored for some time and has been talked about. And oh, is it real? Is it fake? What is it?
Right.
I thought it was something that sounded 50-50. I was on a
Right.
fence, and I was very happy to find that it was real. So this is Doom: The Dark Ages. Yeah, hell yeah. Before we go further, did you play 2016 and Eternal?
Yes.
Okay. Those I think are excellent. And if we can just continue that
I mean, just the
excellence.
cinematics right now is pretty
Well, I mean, if
pretty
you'll
damn good
this
for
looks like some kind of a castle.
right, obviously.
It's supposed to be, I mean, is it supposed to be the Middle Ages? I don't really know, because there's these floating things and like the pentagram and stuff.
Right.
I don't really
Well, and
know.
then the
Is
one
it
thing looks
Earth?
almost like it almost looks like a little ship next to one of the floating islands.
Well,
Like
we
a
know there's
flying
ships.
ship.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess demons had this stuff before we did.
Mm.
It looked like the College of Winterhold in
Yeah.
Skyrim. This is beautiful. I don't know where, again, like what or when this is supposed to be, but
Right.
I can't wait to blow it up. Now this is this Was that his base? It's like in
It
space,
kind of
right?
looked
It's
like
like,
well, it looked like it was in the air, not necessarily space, but yeah,
I guess it could move.
like a sky city.
But in Doom Eternal, you find that he has this like base of operations, and it's
Right.
he has like a guitar and stuff. Oh man, I love it. Yes, 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 yes. First of all, this change to his look,
Yeah,
sign me up. I think it's a simple change to give him that big fur cape,
right.
but
A little
boy, does
more
it look
spikes
cool.
on the, on his
A little more
gauntlets and his
medieval.
shoulder. Yeah,
Yep, yep. Yeah, they're launching him down from space. Just his landing kills a bunch of guys.
right. Nice.
Oh my god. All right, all right, all right. This gun,
I know. I knew you were gonna.
and
Yes,
the ammo is skulls,
it's
skull
grinding.
fragments.
Yes, it's grinding skull pieces and rapid firing them out to
Yes.
kill guys.
Where is my Doom movie? That's not the Rock movie.
Okay.
Where is the Doom movie from this version of the Doom universe?
Right.
I want all this. I want to see all this. I need this now. Chainsaw shield.
Yeah.
Come on. I my level of anticipation is quite high, Chris.
I would take a movie. Oh God, what was it? Where it was all first person.
Hardcore Henry.
Yes, I would take a hardcore Henry-esque version
I don't know. I
of
feel that
Doom.
this is what the game is. And plus the
Right.
original Doom movie had that first person section. I don't need that again. I want to see like beautiful, I don't know. Just I want to see the rage carnage, demons being shredded, and him.
Well, I mean, first person, you'd see that completely.
I want to see all of it. I want to see the entirety of the Doom guy, the Hellwalker,
Right.
doing his deeds. Oh man. Okay, let's go. Was that a sword? What was that?
It looked like some kind of, I don't know, like a chain thing.
Was it a chain blade?
Yeah, that's what it kind of looked like.
Did we find that we can? Did I find out you can go slow?
Yeah, you did.
How did I find that?
I
Every
know.
time I've needed
I
it.
know.
Why don't want this? How do I get this out?
Just take it back for a
Uh-oh.
second. Oh, there you go.
Playback speed.
Yep,
Somewhere Juan is screaming.
I know.
All right. How do I get this off the screen? There we go. So he's... Wow, that must sound amazing. I'm going to mute that. I love
The
they
shield is still going.
they just borrow Captain America's shield, and
I
I
was
don't
gonna
care.
say, we need somebody, to comment. That thing does not not adhere to the principles of physics.
No,
does
I
it?
don't want it to.
Yeah.
I think, do we go? We're not far enough back yet, are we?
No, you actually just went forward. You didn't go back. There you
Oh,
go.
here we go. That's
Right
this.
about
This is
there.
the poor guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, it's a mace.
Okay.
It's a
nice.
you just straight up get a mace. Doom guy needs a mace. I agree.
Yeah.
Yep.
Nice. Nail gun.
Do you notice that? Yeah, and the dude's nailed to the wall.
Yeah.
Or it could be because there's spikes in that wall. I'm not sure.
Oh yeah.
Either way.
Still.
There's the mace.
Yep.
There's a kick. It's like
Upgrade. Oh yeah.
hold on, we gotta go back. Playback speed, please. So there's this giant boss. So Doom Guy now is piloting a mech?
Yeah.
A Doom mech?
A Doom mech.
Come on. Come on! The Doom Gundam.
Yes. And it looks badass.
That's so cool. So that's POV, just uppercutting
nice.
a demon. Oh, they are. It's like they sat in a room and said, "What's the coolest things you can think of?"
Right.
And they put every single one of them in the game. Oh yeah, he's riding a dragon.
Dragon, yeah.
Yes.
Oh hell yeah.
Yes. And it's next year. I can wait.
Yes.
I will happily wait for this. Man. Sign me up right now.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
the Dune music started playing from the Sega Genesis Dune game.
Oh nice.
All right. Anyway, Doom, the Dark Ages. Get here. Get here now.
For it.
Yep. It's time.
And make sure everything works when you bring it out. I'll even wait an extra couple of months to make sure it's runs.
I don't think there were many issues with Eternal or 2016. Not that I can remember. I don't remember them having rough launches.
I think, what was it? Wasn't Eternal, though, like, pushed back just a couple of months?
Well, there was a multiplayer thing.
Yeah.
Because they did sort of revamp the multiplayer, and not in a way that I like, to be honest with you.
Right.
I prefer the multiplayer for Doom 2016.
Yeah.
I've still gone back and played it not that long ago. There's still a very small dedicated group that plays it.
Yeah.
Some interesting modes. I just like that kind of arena style gameplay, you know.
Yeah.
So
it's fun.
That only Doom and Quake and those guys can give. So. Yep. All right. Well, I don't have anything else fun. If you don't want to hear about,
you don't have anything else fun, we'll start talking about Star Wars.
Yeah. You want to start, or should I start?
I will let you start.
Okay.
You know, we've had 3 episodes.
3 episodes. Now, Chris has alluded to the fact that this show he's lost sleep, he's not eating, he's pacing, he's chain smoking, he's drinking, he's upset, right? This show has rocked your world to some degree. Is that correct?
You know, in all honesty, it's gotten to the point that I'm almost past anger to apathy.
That's where I started.
Which I think is even worse.
I will say
the problem is I mean, I'm a little bit older than you. I went through that original set of movies as brand new.
Mm-hmm.
And
so did I.
Well,
they were new to me.
Well,
I didn't see them in the theater, but I mean, like when I saw them, there was no other
in the theater.
There was no other Star Wars, Chris. It was there were 3 Star Wars movies,
and there should have really never been after. Anyway,
debatable. Go on.
Okay, no, I'm going to, before I say anything else, I am going to make a formal apology to Ruin Johnson and Jar Jar Abrams. I personally thought you couldn't get any worse than the sequel trilogy. I was flat fucking wrong. I do apologize. I understand of all people, because I have a plethora of extended universe of trying to do your own thing. As long as it stays in the realm of what Star Wars is.
You want to come watch Rise of Skywalker later?
But I'll mark them off my list.
Okay. Your hit list?
my Steve Buscemi list. Yeah. I mean,
all right. Well, let me make my opening statements. Ladies and gentlemen of the court, I don't have a whole lot to say. I don't have a lot to say about this show, to be quite honest with you. it doesn't really do much for me. It also doesn't enrage me. But I think its biggest sin is that it's not interesting to me at all. So we'll go through it. We'll talk about each episode. I'm not feeling the outrage. I'm feeling the disappointment that you have this sandbox of 100 years before Star Wars. You can do whatever you want. And this is what we decided to do. So I don't outright, I'm not feeling rage. I'm just feeling more like, there's one that is not for me. So,
I mean, this honestly feels more like this is Leslie Headlamp's like therapy session to work through.
We got to get through this. We got to get through this. So, okay. Just in general, the show looks like the other cheapo. Well, yes, some of it looks okay. Some of it looks okay.
Ships are bland.
Yeah.
I tell you what, some of the stuff was better in Kenobi, and you know how much I hated Kenobi.
I liked that robot. There's a robot that I liked, Chris. I'm gonna find the positive things, and there will be a few.
Pick a fucking robot, and says that's the best looking thing.
Wait, first of all,
obviously, if you haven't, I didn't say Ahsoka because I thought Ahsoka looked way better than Kenobi or this.
All right.
Even though I wasn't a fan of Ahsoka, the production value, and how the fuck do you spend on 30 minutes of content for 8 episodes over $200 million?
It's a valid question. I'm not going to argue.
And you have 10 episodes of House of the Dragon that come in less than that at over twice the amount of content. And it looks 10 times better.
Because most of that, I would guess, is like just filmed outside somewhere. And Star Wars, they have to go to space, Chris. I don't think you understand how this works. No, you don't.
They're not always in space. They're not fucking.
Well, they gotta go to alien planets.
They are not fucking Pluto Nash on the face of the moon, walking out in space. They're on a planet.
Yep.
For God's sakes, George traveled halfway around the world and found fucking Tatooine.
Yep, it was there.
It's not hard to find a basic ass bitch mountainside.
Dress it up a little, put some porgs on it.
Dress it up a little, but apparently rock can catch on fire.
All right, but do we know it's rock? This, of all the problems, this is a non-issue. What if it's a space thing that's solid enough to build out of, but is flammable? What if it's like a wood mountain?
It's a fucking rock mountain.
I don't know that. Nobody told me it was a rock mountain. All I've seen is that it caught on fire, so it must be flammable. I rest my case, Your Honor.
Okay, you're on a planet by yourself. Let me go build a giant-ass temple to hide in on the biggest fucking flammable rock.
Yeah, what if it gets struck by lightning? Bad move. I mean, they were just dumb to build it there. If anything, let's blame the witches.
Go with the synapses because.
Okay. I do want to say like this. I'm not feeling this rage. Like I'm just more like, yeah, this was whatever. I'm not like super mad about it, but I wish it was a show that I loved, and it's not. So anyway, I just want to make my stance clear.
Okay.
Here.
I think everybody knows my stance.
Yes. So the first episode, Lost/Found. 100 years before the rise of the Galactic Empire, the Galactic Republic and Jedi Order preside during a time of centuries-long peace in a bar on the planet Ueda. Jedi Master Indara is attacked and killed by a woman wielding daggers. The way she is killed is basically by the assassin going, "Hey, look over there. You're dead."
Dumbest fucking death in
I agree.
Wars.
It was stupid.
My God, but you know what? Apparently lightsabers don't kill anyone or chop anybody's limbs off anymore, so fuck it. A butter knife can kill a Jedi now.
Yep. And it didn't even look that deep. It just, maybe it was poisoned. I don't know. Anyway, rip
and a
to
Jedi
Carrie Ann Moss.
Can't sense. They can sense a child from across the galaxy, but she can't sense it, she's
Here's my
gonna
other
get
question:
knifed.
does Star Wars only happen in like bars and like restaurants? I guess
And what the,
saloons,
you know,
cantinas.
I know Carrie Ann Moss was Trinity in Matrix,
Hell yeah, she was.
but that's not
Don't forget
fucking
it.
Star Wars. Some kung fu bullshit, and to say, well, we only take our lightsabers out if we intend to kill. Bullshit. Have they not seen the 9 movies before this?
Yeah, Luke just gets to wave one around.
I,
It was your father's lightsaber.
let's
Anyway,
see. Qui-Gon melts a freaking door with one.
yeah, but he's going to kill those Neimoidians. Oh, there were Neimoidians in this, by the way.
Would he if they didn't attack him?
No, he wouldn't have killed him.
Yeah. That's
Anyway,
what I'm saying.
Yeah, okay, you're right. It was fun to see more Neimoidians.
Yeah.
Whatever. OSHA, who works as a mechanic doing dangerous repairs on the outside of starships,
How
denies.
ironic.
Oh, OSHA, yeah, denies committing the
Who comes up with
crime.
these stupid fucking names.
Well, it's shortened. Her full name is cool, but just calling her OSHA is weird. Denies committing the crime when arrested by Jedi Knight Yord Fandar. It's just they put names into a generator, and well, I mean, whatever. You got to come up with something. I get it. And his Padawan,
something from Sweden, Yarn Fendar.
Yes, Tassi Loa, en route to Coruscant. Oh, go on.
Okay, first of all, did Yorn, you know, the guy remind you of Powerline from the Goofy movie with that hair?
Oh, now that you say it, sure.
I mean, was this Disney's way of trying to get a live-action Goofy movie now?
I don't know. En route to Coruscant, the galactic capital, OSHA's fellow prisoners escape and leave her to crash land on the planet Karlak.
Okay, now I have another thing with this.
Not Hoth.
No.
Not Ilum?
Yeah.
What's the other ice one? Where the cyber crystals, where the kyber crystals come from?
I think it's
what is it? Isn't it like an ice planet where they go and get crystals?
Yeah. Because it was in Mando season 2. Okay, you have someone suspected of killing a master Jedi, and you're going to throw them on a prison ship with no one fucking there except some other prisoners.
You had some robot chair drivers.
Yeah, some half cyborg.
I like the way that the chairs were the robots. I thought I legit.
I mean,
that
that's
was like,
fine,
oh, that's the Disney magic.
That made zero fucking sense.
I liked it.
That no, not the robot, but you have somebody that's killed Jedi, supposedly killed a Jedi master, yet you're not going to have anyone guard them whatsoever.
Yeah. Well, and the fact that there would be escape pods, at least, like, I get it if you're going to send them on an unmanned or whatever, like a unmanaged flight, and if there was no way off,
right,
and it can only be controlled remotely, then that makes sense. And then you don't have to risk any of your guys, whatever. But when there's escape pods, and then you can just override the controls. When this person, obviously, they have the force, like, it's really stupid. Yeah, you're right. It's really stupid.
I mean, and then on top of it, with the crash landing, she doesn't strap herself in. She holds the headrest of the chair. And you're entering the fucking atmosphere of a planet and crash landing.
And the landing was like a really nice, smooth crash landing. When it goes in the atmosphere, it's all tumbling and
I know, yeah.
It straightened itself out. Maybe there's some automated system. Let's just hope that I don't care.
Bad writing.
These are the things.
It's bad writing. It's bad writing. It's bad directing. Harvey Weinstein's assistant can't fucking write or direct. Let's put it that way.
All right. Anyway, she sees a vision of her twin sister May, who was presumed dead in a fire that seemingly killed her family when they were young. OSHA deduces that May is alive and the one who killed Indara. Jedi Master Vernestra, how do you say it? Ro?
I think it's just like Ro.
Ro? But it's spelled R-W-O-H.
Yeah.
Ro. Wow. Sends Master Soul, OSHA's former teacher, to Karlak with his current Padawan, Jeki Lon and Yord.
And can we talk about some of that dialogue?
Some of the dialogue's terrible.
I'll give
I like
Li Jung. I'll give him a pass because he basically just learned English like
Soul.
this last year.
He's good. I think Soul is like legit good.
I
He's a
for
good
the most
character.
part, there's only one thing with him that kind of annoys me. It's like he wants to show his lightsaber to every little kid.
Yeah.
It's
Whatever.
like, where are you going with that, Leslie?
Oh, I see.
I mean, but the dialogue is so bad.
There's some pretty
And
bad dialogue. I would agree with you on this. And
that
normally I can let this stuff go, but some of it's pretty bad.
Vanessa Rowe, the girl that's acting is Leslie Headland's wife, and she is probably the worst actor in all of it, and that includes the kids.
Which one is this? The Padawan?
No, Vanessa, the green chick.
Oh, yeah. You thought she was bad?
Yes, her dialogue delivery was horrible. The guy that just learned some English was better delivering his lines than her.
Well, and to be fair I guess to the situation, like he gets a lot of lines that are more like, the more philosophical, interesting lines. Some of the other people just get to say stuff like, Master Soul, we're going to the Coruscant to the blah blah blah. They just get
But
this
you
like
can still
info dump
deliver.
garbage
But
jargon.
you can still deliver that well.
Some of it's crazy.
How much? What medical? There's a ton of medical dramas that people have to blurt out like a million things, and they can still do it with,
That's a good point.
skill.
That's a good point.
So you can't use that as an excuse.
All right, I retract it.
Okay.
Like my lightsaber. They find Osha. Oh, by the way, I really don't like the Padawan.
Oh, Daphne Keane.
She annoys the shit out of me.
I
I don't know what it is.
And
I think it's her makeup. I don't like her makeup.
I don't like the way that she talks to Saul.
Well,
no Padawan would really talk that way.
She's a little know-it-all. Yeah,
she's a little bitch.
She's a little know-it-all, and I don't like her makeup.
Have you noticed that, like,
we sound like little bitches, Chris?
I know.
She's a little know-it-all, and I don't like her makeup.
And the thing is Daphne Keane is a good actress. I mean, look what she did in Logan.
Yeah. I don't like her. I don't like the design. I'm
not a huge fan of the design either. But look at all the Padawan, Jedi Master dynamics up to this point. This would never happen. And also, another thing, why are all these Jedi so emotional? That is in complete contrast to what the Jedi Order is supposed to be.
It seems like about 50-50 to me. They're
always supposed to be in check with their
emotions. Supposed to be, but it seems like the ones we get aren't. Like Anakin, obviously. I mean.
Well, but there's a reason for that. For the fact that...
Well, yeah. Well, maybe there's a reason for it here.
Why? Are they taking, like, all older kids now? And that's another thing with this Osha May thing. We'll get into it with the next one, but...
Let me read the last sentence, please. They find Osha, and Sol accepts her theory about May. Elsewhere, May meets with her mysterious master, who has challenged her to kill a Jedi without using a weapon. It's just a TikTok challenge, isn't it?
Smilo Ren, yeah.
Smilo Ren! All right.
You've seen that helmet,
I saw the trailer where the head turns, and it's got the big... I don't hate the design. It's fine. But we're just, every single trope of Star Wars is just like, the villain has to have a mask. It has to be creepy. We have to meet in a bar. We have to go onto an ice planet. I would just like to see something a little different. And so far there hasn't been a lot.
This is really bad fanfic. I mean,
yeah, I would say that
it's really bad fanfic.
I would say that it does feel like some of those weirder, weaker 90s like EU books that didn't quite, like some of those
but they had better writing.
No, they didn't. Some of those were so bad.
There were very few.
Some of those Jedi Academy ones are truly shit. Some of them are. Don't forget how many.
Jedi Academy.
Don't forget how many of these books got published. It's hundreds.
Oh, I know.
Some of them, I would say this is on the level with some of those worse ones. It's just that somehow it made it to television.
Okay, can I say one thing?
That's the end of episode 1.
Okay, that's the end of episode 1. Now, this has a worse audience rating than the Star Wars Christmas special.
Well, that's a fun train wreck to watch.
Well, it has a better rating than this does.
Um, I mean, okay. I
It's
don't know
not
what
by
to do with that
much.
information.
I mean, it's not by much. I'm just saying that.
I don't know what to do with that information.
Yeah.
Let's move on. So the second
Yeah.
episode is called Revenge slash Justice. Justice.
Just-
Revenge slash Justice.
I'd rather brought Sean Connery from the dead and watch him do
Yes.
this than some of the shit that was on screen. Okay, anyway.
Jedi Master Tobin. Boy, I haven't done a Connery in a while. I feel that
Yeah,
feels nice. Okay. Revenge slash Justice. I can't say the word justice. I just drank a cup of coffee, and it's kicking in.
And your little bit like
I want to
Yeah.
just show that off. It's gone.
Okay, nice.
Ooh, it's gone. The pencil trick. Have I ever showed you? This is just an aside. The coasters that I use while I'm podcasting. I just have a couple of them here, and I don't know if they'll mean anything to you, but these are here's two of them. I have a whole set of these.
Oh, nice.
These are the tonics from BioShock Infinite.
I was gonna say those look familiar.
Those
yeah.
are the icons for those.
Okay.
Just a shout out to BioShock Infinite. It's been a while. Maybe it's time to go back.
Yeah.
Back
This
to
was my
Columbia.
coffee cup this morning.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Mine was Electronic Barbecue, which is my wife's
Nice.
Twitch thing.
Yep.
That's an old retro. Okay, retro. I mean, it's from 10 years ago.
Well,
We made this cup, designed
nice.
it. You could tell that I made that barbecue grill there.
Yeah.
Anyway, Star Wars. We have to stay on topic here.
Yeah.
Revenge slash Justice.
Yeah.
May attempts to kill Jedi Master Tobin in a temple.
Jedi Master Neckbeard.
It looks like Abraham Lincoln. When the moment he appeared on screen, I said, I hate this guy. I hate this guy.
Yeah.
I'm not normal, Chris. I'm not normally like this. Normally, I'm willing to like try and
Yeah, I know.
just hug everybody and let's just try to love what we're, everyone put a lot of time and work into this. Let's try to enjoy it. But I was irrationally mad by Jedi Master Tobin.
His new name is Jedi Master Neckbeard.
I don't like him at all. May attempts to kill him on the planet Olega, but is prevented by his force meditation.
The planet Olego?
Olego! Well, that's why he had to float everywhere, because he would always step
Right.
on Legos.
Yeah.
Tobin has been floating in silent meditation for over a decade, being a useless piece of shit to everyone.
Right.
Tobin, the rent's due. I'm meditating. I'm so sorry. Tobin, it's your time to do the dishes. Meditating. Levitating.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm taking a vow. Vernestra sends Sol, Jecki, Yord, and Osha to investigate this attack. May regroups with her supplier, Chimere? I think it's Chimere.
I don't care.
Who is helping her hunt the 4 Jedi that were stationed on her and Osha's home planet, Brendok. That's another Connor. Brendok. At the time of the fire. Indara, Tobin, Sol, and the Wookiee Kelmaka. I thought that was the beginning of a sentence, but it was the end of the sentence.
So can we talk about Kanaka for a second there?
Yep.
With the running around with the tunic on. So does that mean for, however many decades Chewbacca's been free balling it this whole time?
Yeah.
I mean.
Yeah. Yeah, it does.
And every other Wookiee, even Force users in the book, have been free balling it, but this guy.
Yeah.
Who decides to put on a freaking tunic.
Yeah.
And have a Harry and the Hendersons looking head instead of a Wookiee looking head.
I was watching it. I had it on at work, at lunch, of course.
Right.
And someone walked into the break room and they're like, "What are you watching?" And I felt, and it was that moment when he's like walking around. I think he comes out and like does some. I don't know what it is.
Basically,
by a ship.
Like somebody, with somebody.
He's doing something, messing with something, and I was like, I feel so stupid this being on the TV. Like, I'm sorry that it's not a killer elevator movie right now.
Right.
That it's this not great Wookiee design, and
I mean, he literally, if you go back and look at the movie Harry and the Hendersons,
I'm familiar.
he looks like the fucking Yeti from Bigfoot from Harry and the Hendersons.
It doesn't look
With,
great.
with that pointy ass head, and I don't know what kind of, there's been Wookiees with gray and stuff in their facial
There's been
hair and
Wookiees that
in
look
their
cool
body
as
hair.
hell.
Yeah.
This
I
one
mean,
doesn't.
look at Kerchak.
I will.
I mean, as bad as Boba Fett was, Kerchak was awesome in that show.
Kersantin?
Or Kersantin, I meant.
Kolchak?
Yeah. Yeah.
The Night Stalker?
I was combining. Now, that would be a hell of a Night Stalker, wouldn't it?
It's a hunt a Wookiee.
Kersantin. Kersantin the Night Stalker.
They found hair at the scene of the crime.
2 foot long, but
there's a weird growling on the recording.
Yeah, you see some vampire or something, and then all of a sudden behind it, this giant shadow.
Ripping a vampire in half.
Right.
Hey, okay. Chimere provides May with a poison and warns her that she still needs to kill one of the 4 without a weapon for her TikTok challenge. Yeah. May offers the poison to Torben as absolution for his past. He stops meditating and willingly takes it, dying as the others arrive. First of all, I hated the fact that they're all walking to this guy's room. She just happens to get there faster. And it's this bullshit thing of like, she killed him, look. And it's like, she just was there faster. But like, I hated that whole like messing with the audience of like, well, oh no, they're going to think she did it. I hated that shit.
I get there's so many different like species and stuff of Jedi. But to have Obi-Wan Kenobi as a Jedi, how is someone that's supposed to be in a sect of discipline and control? I would not be a Jedi. I'm a big guy. I admit that.
There could be a big Jedi. What are you talking about? That'd be cool. They should do that.
A fat guy Jedi?
A bigger guy. Why not?
Dude, this guy is like bordering, heart attack by the time he's 45.
Wait, really? I didn't notice that at all.
Yes.
The guy who's floating there?
No. One of the guys that walk in. He's at that.
Wasn't he just a helper? He wasn't a Jedi.
Yeah, he was a Jedi.
I don't think so.
He was. Go look back and look. He was a Jedi.
Well, I'm thinking a bigger guy would be cool to see as a Jedi. And you're saying no?
No, not a.
There was that other guy with them who led them into the temple. I didn't notice that guy being like.
No, that's not the same one.
Guy.
There's another
the guy who was like
in.
hanging out with him and saying like, "Oh, across the street, that guy."
No, not the one that came in like when she just ninja rapidly went up in the skylight. That
By the way,
in the temple of a guy that has been meditating
for 10 years. It's got to smell so bad.
And not just that. Like, oh, let's have a skylight open for.
He's getting rained on and shit.
No one in the room.
10 years. Well, look, he took the vow. If he wants to shut it, he can shut it. I would love to see it. Like, she offers him the poison and she sets it down, and he just kind of says no, and then just floats through the skylight and leaves.
Look at what Master Yoshi and Dragon Ball just not
Master Roshi.
Oh, Roshi.
Sometimes we do. Zora has seen a little bit of Dragon Ball Z, and she likes me to do the Roshi voice. We do a little bit of because she does the little Gohan. If she's trying to get my attention and she's not getting it, she'll start to go, Daddy, I need you. Anyway, let's move on. That's weird.
Yeah.
He drinks the poison. May escapes, and Osha poses as her to get information from Chimere. He reveals the existence of May's master and her overall plan. That night, Sol confronts May and reveals to her that Osha is alive. Osha attempts to stun May, but misses horribly, seemingly on purpose. I think it was on purpose, yeah. There's no way.
And, all right. And I'm jumping just barely ahead to the next episode.
I have one sentence left.
Okay, say it.
She later threatens Chimere over talking to the Jedi, but he convinces her to spare him because he learned that Kalnaka is living on the planet Kofar. That's it. End of episode 2. Go.
After
What were you going to say?
16 years, being completely separated. And I know this is a little thing, but this just goes to show the lack of detail. You're gonna have the same goddamn haircut.
It was something that occurred to me too while I was watching. It's like, oh, they both have the exact same haircut they've always had. They
Yeah,
didn't change it at all.
yeah.
I know
I
that's
mean,
like, I've seen that online, but I legitimately had that thought too when I was watching the show.
I know I've seen other people, but I mean, literally, if you pay any attention to that, that's you know,
I think it's there because, well, it seems like what you would want to do would be to give the evil one a different haircut than the good one. So then we can
yeah.
differentiate who's who. But because we need to have this
I mean,
stupid
what did they
which
not
one
have?
is which, then that's the only reason it's like that
Did they
for
not
this
have the budget
story.
for a good hairdresser? I
No,
mean,
it's truly that they wanted to have that be an option, like, oh well, they both have the same hairdo, so we couldn't tell which one was which. Stupid as hell.
yeah. I mean,
It's the
they
only
lived
reason.
completely different lives,
Yeah.
didn't know each other existed, you
Yeah.
know, and you're gonna keep the same damn haircut for you know, 15, 16 years from when you were a kid.
And also,
None of us have the same goddamn haircut from when we were a kid.
I'm
I've
pointing to
seen
my head.
pictures of you. Yeah,
I have it right now.
yeah.
Uh, my other question is, traditionally in Star Wars, force sensitive twins have like an unbreakable bond,
Right.
and they could always sort of tell what's what and where the twin is and whatever. So
This
that you
just
would
shows,
get glimpses or whatever.
this just shows that whole meme of Leslie Headland when she was asked in an interview before this even came out, well, which is your favorite Star Wars? Oh, all of them. She has no fucking clue of anything about this. Even the basic normie that's seen them just the movies knows this. Just look at Luke and Leia. Even in the sequels, they had that sense of, or
That's why they
in
made
the
out.
original movies, you know, in Return of the Jedi, in the Empire,
Yeah.
they knew that, they had that bond, and it spanned, you know, planetary levels, not just in the vicinity.
Yep. Yes. Yes.
This just shows they know fucking nothing. They don't care. They want to tear down everything that came before, and we'll get to that in the episode
I don't know
3.
that they want to tear it down. I think
They
that they
want
want
to
to.
tear the shit down,
I
and
can't tell you that.
I will explain why when we get to the next
I
one.
think you're more onto it with they just wanted to do what they wanted to do and didn't even care about the other stuff.
They want to rewrite the Star Wars into modern day ideology and mentality, and especially when we get to know like what happened when these two were young in this third
Well,
episode.
let's start the episode. It's called
Okay.
Destiny, and
Yes.
it's directed by someone called Kogonada.
Okay. I have no idea.
Kogonada is a South Korean-born American filmmaker known for his video essays that analyze content, form, and structure of various films and television series. Regular contributor to Sight and Sound and frequently commissioned by the Criterion Collection to create supplemental videos for its in-home releases. Well, that's actually cool.
So no actual TV shows or movie experience.
No, written and directed and edited the feature films Columbus and After Yang, which wasn't After Yang that was a pretty big movie. That had Colin Farrell, and I remember that being made a splash. It's like an A24. Oh, I remember it for sure. Anyway, so he's not nobody for sure. I just thought, I don't recognize that name.
No.
16 years earlier, Osha and May live with an all-female coven of witches on Brendok. Their mother and the coven's leader, Mother Anastasia, claims the twins do not have a father. They were carried by another witch, Mother Coral. Oh, I didn't think it was spelled that way. Koril. Anastasia teaches the children that the Force, which she calls the thread, is misused by the Jedi. They undergo a ceremony to be inducted into the coven, which May is excited about, but Osha is not.
Okay,
Anything?
Let's start with oh yeah, there's plenty. The whole thread bullshit that the Jedi are misusing, that's Leslie Headland's bullshit of against the patriarchy. You can tell the way she dismisses especially, and I know there's plenty of female Jedi, but that's not the way they present it. And the thread in, like, magic has been used several times in regards to the Force, even with the female witches of Dathomir,
Mm-hmm.
you know. And to say this, well, nobody knows, and for the fact that they create, quote unquote, created these two twins before Anakin.
I think it's different than Anakin.
Which, no, because he was created by the Force.
By the Force.
These two created these
with the Force.
With the Force, which no one else in any chronology has been able to do.
What about
not the Sith, not the Jedi?
Wait, don't the Sith do that?
Hold on.
Wait, they
not
do
though.
Okay.
Not Mother Talzin, not the witches in Dathomir, not even Darth Plagueis, Anakin himself, or the Emperor could do. Nobody was able to do that for people that were far powerful than these guys.
When Palpatine says I made Snoke, you don't think he meant that he made Snoke?
No.
Because we know that Palpatine had this life-making ability that he gets from Plagueis. So I don't see that it's really any different.
Plagueis failed. If you read the books, Plagueis failed, and the Force itself was the one to create Anakin as to be the chosen one, to be the one to combat anything that Plagueis had done to try to bastardize and create the ultimate evil out of the Force.
I guess I'm confused because how does Plagueis fail if Palpatine says
create one?
Palpatine says that Plagueis could do it.
Plagueis would bring back. He never actually created life.
I don't see really that it could be different.
That is. If someone already has an existing life force, to be able to, the theory of energy is not never destroyed, it's just converted.
Mm-hmm.
If you can pluck that, unique life force and put it back, that's different than completely creating something different. For decades, the Force has almost been, I guess the easiest way that I can compare it to is like the Speed Force.
Oh, now you're talking.
Where it's actually almost its own entity,
mm-hmm.
but that's throughout everything and everyone. It exists. Some people are more adept to it, obviously, than others. This was a complete bastardization and was calling this whole thread bullshit. What are they, Jamie Braddock from Excalibur Comics?
Well, that's
where this came from.
There's been other like sects of Jedi that don't do like the Gray Jedi, for example. I don't see this as any different at all. It just call it something else.
But it's still the Force.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's a completely different concept because they say the Force you can use and try to hone. They were saying, describing this whole thread bullshit, is you can pluck it and pull it out. Or you can throw another thread.
It's not enough terminology for the same thing.
It's totally different.
Oh, I didn't get that at all.
I did. Like I said, knowing all the books and all the stuff, this has never been any kind of concept.
Okay.
I mean, even with, I don't give a shit if it was a coming of women and all this, some of the stuff that I've heard. I don't care. The Witches of Dathomir, which, mind you, is another Filoni product.
And they're bringing people back from the dead, too.
They are, but they're bringing them back from the dead, not completely creating their own life through someone else's activity.
To me, it doesn't seem that different.
This minimizes, but with these twins, it minimizes the impact of Anakin being the chosen one.
To me, again, I think it's completely different. Anakin's like made by the Force. Like there's no father. He's just like, the immaculate convection oven.
Right.
And it done got a bun in it. You know what I'm saying?
So what is this, Force IVF? I mean...
Sure, yeah. Why not?
No.
Okay. Well, you want to go on?
Go ahead.
All right. Before Osha is inducted, the ceremony is interrupted by 4 Jedi: Indara, Kelneka, Torben, and Sol. They express concern that the witches are training children and claim the right to test the twins for their suitability to become Jedi.
Okay, and then can we talk about the dialogue at that point?
Sure.
One, you get a thing with telling, earlier in one of the episodes, Saul said, or no, it's in this one, talking about telling the truth.
Yeah, that's in this
very
episode.
Important.
Mm-hmm.
Yet they say, oh, well, basically when they first see the witches, they're like, oh, well, we were just in the area and just so happened to come across.
Sure. Isn't that that's the point of this show, though, right? We're showing the height of the Jedi and their hubris or whatever.
So now
and they can do whatever they want.
So this is just what, corrupt cops now, Jedi?
I kind of got that.
I mean, and that's bullshit.
They can do whatever they want because they're the Jedi.
But
who says they get to do that?
They haven't, though.
But they are here.
Right, that's what I mean. And it's because of the shitty writing from Leslie Headlamp.
But wasn't that always the understanding that the Jedi have kind of gotten too big for their britches and they think they're in charge of everything and the rules don't apply to them?
No, that's never been anything of that. The rules don't apply to them. Actually, just quite the opposite, that they're more the stickler for the rules than the rules being. I mean, they wouldn't allow, the only reason they wouldn't, or that Anakin got trained was because basically Obi-Wan said he would no longer be part of the council. And they said, it's on you,
Yeah.
If they were just not, going to scuff the rules for their own power, they would have made Anakin a master.
Well, regardless, it doesn't seem like Saul has the best judgment. I think we can agree.
Well, like I said, I'm showing him his lightsaber to every kid that comes.
That's what I'm saying. There's like several reasons. All right.
But anyway, that dialogue with, and then on top of it, are we going to learn that this was, even back to the High Republic and all, they never took children. Anakin was supposed to be the only child they ever took that old. And that's the way it was described in the books and everything else.
Yeah.
But now they're going to, oh, well, these kids are freaking 11, like 3 years older than Anakin will be. But we'll test them.
Well, I always understood that as like, well, as a general rule, you don't want to be past a certain age because you got to unlearn all this stuff. But I don't know that I ever heard like there is a firm age where you can't pass. I mean, how do you explain Luke then? He's way too old.
He is. But
so right there, that rule doesn't fucking matter.
It was more along the lines of him having, because Vader was still searching for them. Because if you go later on, he knows that he has 2 kids.
Mm-hmm.
And it was to subvert the fact that Obi-Wan and Yoda did not want them, because they knew how powerful Luke and Leia were, didn't want them to be, seduced by the dark side. So they wanted them in that path, whether it be older or not.
So could this be the same thing?
No.
Okay.
Who are they to? They're to nobody, right? They were, Force IVF.
Sure. Well, I think it's been established that
it's not something in regards to them being pushed, because at the time the Sith were not as prevalent, so there was not really this giant, mass of, possible corruption in regards to, Force users.
Okay.
And they've said it, and I'm just saying, they've said it several times, and it's, when 8 years is too old, yet you're going to have 2 11-year-olds that were, living with a coven of witches that disregard anything the Jedi consider to be sacred. And throwing the whole line, well, women like us aren't. aren't appreciated in the galaxy.
Right, because they're seen as dark, evil witches because they do
Okay.
weird shit. That makes me like them, Chris. I don't know. Let's see. Hang on. Where are we?
The
They express
conversation, yeah.
they express the concern that the witches are training children and claim they're. Oh yeah, we did that. Uh, Anastasia asks the children to purposefully fail the test. May does, but Osha chooses to pass the test and tells Anastasia that she wishes to become a Jedi. Angry that her sister wants to leave her, May starts a fire. I didn't really buy any of that. None of that worked for me.
Well, and then
Is she
to
evil or
go from
not? What's
0 to
going
6,
on?
and she goes from 0 to 60
Yeah,
to I want to kill you. I
yeah.
mean, seriously, from
I agree with
hugging
that.
1 minute,
That doesn't work
that's
for me at all.
that's
Yeah,
and
I
then
agree.
and then lighting the whole, let's light rock on fire with a candle. I
Could be
mean,
flammable rock. I'll stand by it.
name me one.
Jim. You haven't
What,
met
in the
Jim, but he's
holograms?
rock, but he's very
Oh, I
flammable.
was saying, oh, you said Jim. I thought you said Jim. I was saying,
Jim.
in the holograms, yeah, they'd probably go up like Tinder.
Exactly. All that hairspray. May does, but Osha chooses blah blah blah. Angry that her sister wants to leave her, May starts a fire. Saul helps Osha get to safety, but they see May seemingly die and find the rest of the coven dead as well. The Jedi take Osha to Coruscant, and Saul promises to train her as his Padawan. On Brendok, May is shown to have survived and is looking for her sister. Roll credits. Republic credits. So yeah, I mean, I can agree that this show is not really working for me. I don't have the same level of, I don't know what I want to call it, but
I mean,
I feel like you're up here and I'm like down here.
I'm ready to be Aragorn at the gates of Mordor with this shit.
I didn't even want to talk
Theoden
about
in the fields of Pelennor.
I was ready to not have this conversation.
But the thing is these people, I hear people, oh well, Dave Filoni, and this and this. He fucking signed off on every bit of this.
Mm-hmm.
He is not coming to save Star Wars. He is there and destroying the legacy of Star Wars.
But this is a 180.
Kathleen Kennedy
previously
is destroying
we've
the
praised
legacy
Filoni.
of Star Wars.
We've praised Filoni.
You praised Filoni.
You didn't?
I was okay with him.
Roll back the tapes.
Jon Favreau. Yeah. Jon Favreau is the one that I talked about more. And
I've always had
he's done.
I've always had a slight issue with the Filoni verse. I've talked about this before, but I generally am okay with it. But I've always had, starting with all the Ahsoka Clone Wars stuff, that show never worked for me. I didn't really get into the character, although I did like the Ahsoka show fine. It didn't blow me away, but I was happy to watch Baylan Skoll every week. I was
going to say Baylan Skoll was the only one that I really watched that show for.
And I liked, I didn't hate that little crew of weirdo aliens doing stuff. It's fine. All those characters work for me in live action just fine. So I don't know. I like that Baylan's, she apprentice? What was her name? She looked like Dirty Sia. What was her name? I liked her. I don't know. There were some characters there that I liked. I like seeing Thrawn.
She was fine.
Yeah.
I wasn't a big fan of the way they portrayed Thrawn.
Could have been more Thrawn, but at least we got something. Yeah. I don't know.
But that's
the problem.
I'm tired of just wanting something.
I agree.
I want it good. It should be good. There's no reason for this shit to be as bad as it is.
And I'll defend some of the other shows, but this one I'm not even gonna try.
And you know what, guys? George Lucas ain't coming to save you either. He doesn't give a shit anymore. He got his payday. He's washed his hands of it. He can sit there and sometimes bitch all he wants, but he fucking backed Bob Iger. And this is a guy that's in charge of it all. Kathleen Kennedy, I heard people saying about the whole Forces female shit was a Nike thing. Bullshit. Look at everything that's come out.
I have nothing.
Kathleen Kennedy is got her hands all over all this. I want to show you something. Let me screen share something real quick.
Okay.
This is just a little thing. All right. Let me know if you can see it. Oh, wait. Hold on.
Not yet.
Okay. Do you see this?
Not yet. It just says you've. Oh, here we go.
Okay.
Lucas World.
Lucas World. This was, yes, they've had people say that, oh, this was fake and blah, 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 blah. This literally, from one of the Imagineers, was a general concept of what we would have gotten at Disney World instead of the whole Black Spire Outpost, which has no legacy characters or anything.
Mm-hmm.
This was turned down by Kathleen Kennedy because she didn't want any of the legacy stuff in the new park and wanted to put all their new stuff in it instead of this.
It would have been cool to see some of this for sure.
You've got Mustafar, you've got Death Star, Coruscant, Tatooine, Endor, Kashyyyk. I mean, you would have had tons and tons of stuff. Instead, we get a fucking hotel that, shits the bed and they close.
I would love to use the toilets at that Star Destroyer.
And a land that, has been depleting, the amount of guests that they've had since a while, and because of just using legacy or non-legacy characters.
I'm not an expert.
From the last three.
I haven't been to Disney since I was a child.
Well, with Cheer, we've been there almost every year for the last, 8 years because of going with Cheer.
Right.
So I've seen it. I've seen it in the process, and I've seen the people not going, and hardcore Star Wars fans, real Star Wars fans. And I will call them out. And yes, I am going to fucking gatekeep because this is something that shouldn't span longer than it is now. And I'm to the point that I've gotten most of my anger out unless they escalate shit. I'm apathetic. I'll watch this for our show, but will I go and will I buy really anything else? No. I'll go buy back issues of old comics, eBay, old toys. Mando Season 2 was the last thing that I ever really got anything from, other than my Jedi Survivor lightsaber.
Andor is standing in the room glaring at you. I loved Andor.
Andor was fine, and I liked it. I liked the story. I liked the development, but it just did not have the Star Wars feel to it. I liked it as a show, and I've even said that, but it just did not have that Star Wars feel because as good of an actor and as good of a character he was, I did not have that connection with Cassian as I did with even Din Djarin. And then Din Djarin was pretty much planted by Bo-Katan in season 3. They took him out of his own show.
He's not out of it. He's in there.
I mean, basically, he was not the main focus of the show.
Well, they're making a bigger story. I don't know. I don't hate it. I did think it was the weakest season.
And here they can't even decide if they're going to make a movie or a series continuing on with that. They've got no clue where they're going.
I thought the movie was confirmed.
No.
Oh, really?
Yeah. They're still in debate whether it's going to...
I thought Mandalorian and Grogu was confirmed.
That was like, what, first of the year? But I've read something recently that they're still debating whether they'll change it to a show or not.
I think the issue here is...
This needs to go on a shelf for at least a minimum of 5 years. Star Wars. And you need to clean house. You need to have people that are passionate, that don't want to throw anything outside of Star Wars or any modern day shit. You can tell new stories and still stay at the heart of Star Wars. I don't think this is it. Hell, I would, at this point, I would have Sam Witwer as creative director. Who knows, seems to know more than freaking Dave Filoni does.
I don't know. I don't know anything about that.
He's the guy that
I know who he is.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I don't know about him knowing.
Yeah.
I think you obviously care more about this than I do, to be honest. I don't know. I'm just having fun, and when it's good, and when it's not, well, maybe the next one.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't really give a shit what Disney's doing. I mean, when it's good, it's good. I'm not going to get fired up about Disney. I don't care.
I'm just sick of it. And Marvel is going the same way. And it's everything they've come out with recently has not been good. And it doesn't look like that anytime soon it's going to get any better. I don't classify Deadpool and Wolverine as Marvel.
Even it couldn't be more Marvel. What do you mean? Of course it's Marvel.
MCU. How about that?
Sure, yeah.
It's Marvel, yes, but not MCU.
So then let's celebrate it and love it.
And if it's good, I will. I will absolutely, it's at, sky, scream to the sky of its accolades. But until
I love the popcorn bucket. Yay.
Oh my God. Yeah, no. I could have done
It's amazing. That. What are you talking about?
It's stupid.
What? It's perfect. Stupid. No, it's amazing. Well, I'm sorry that you're upset, and I wish the show was better. But it is what it is.
That's just it. It's like my relationship with Star Wars and Marvel. It's like the toxic girlfriend that I just can't drop. I know I should. I know I should.
But she's texting you at 3 a.m. You up?
She's naked pictures at 3 a.m. Giving me a little bit of hope.
A new hope. A little bit of a new hope.
Don't even bastardize that name.
Okay. The name that was
added this is later. Like Star Wars No Hope.
All right. All right. Well,
I mean,
I know you have a.
I know.
Do you have any final thoughts on this? Because I know you have a hard out.
I wish it was better. I want to like this stuff. I really do. There is so much that could be going on right now, and they would be, as a company, they would be making so much money. And as an investor, I wish they would be making so much more money.
Sure. Well, that I understand.
I mean, I have Disney shares, and I've seen them rise.
Of Skywalker.
I've seen them like
Revenge of the Sith.
Yes. my stock prices right now are definitely feeling the Revenge of the Sith right now.
All right.
But it's like, I want it to get better. I want these things that, but it's going to take people that actually care about not only the story, but the people that came along with this story. I understand wanting to get a broader audience. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. But you can't shit on the people that got you there to get some new people that obviously aren't coming to your product.
I haven't seen anything about viewer numbers or anything like that. I don't know how.
This is the lowest show on Disney Plus in a Star Wars show. It's even Kenobi is even beating this.
Okay.
So
now we know.
It's like I just want it to get better. I want it to get better.
Well, sure.
I want to have that hope.
I would like that for sure. Of course, that's what we want.
Not what we're getting. And if you like it, good for you. I have questions about your taste, but good for you.
And
why would you not want something that,
a Mara Jade TV show?
Yes.
Sign me up.
Sign me up.
Sign me up.
Let's do this.
Get Mark Hamill in there.
No. I'm
what?
Mark. No.
What?
No. Mark
What the
lost his,
shit?
Mark lost his fucking mind.
What?
No.
We can't start this conversation now. We cannot start this conversation now.
I'll take it. You want to do a Mara Jade and Luke Skywalker? Let's get Sebastian Stan to play Luke.
Okay. Well, I mean, we already have CG Luke. He's available.
Yeah.
He's hanging out on a hard
We
drive
need
somewhere.
a better actor.
All right. Listen, hey, if you have thoughts on this, please join our Discord. There's a link in the description if you haven't already. Come in, say hi, tell us who's right, who's wrong.
I don't give a shit. On this one, anyway.
All right.
I take your comments well.
You can tell me.
This,
you can tell me. It's okay. I'll be your safe space. Safe space.
This needs no safe space. This needs to be freaking salted earth and burned to the fucking ground.
All right.
At this point, Anyway, you guys have a great weekend. Have a happy Father's Day.
I hope this therapy session will have helped you a little, maybe.
No, I'm gonna go to the range and go shoot shit.
Okay. All right. Well, have a great one, everyone, and we'll see you for the next one.
All right. Have a good one, guys.
Goodbye. Bye.